Hi, my name is Jimena Alvarado Varela, and I'm going to talk about St. Basil's Cathedral, Our Lady of Vladimir, and Christ Pantocrator. So, these three masterpieces are a part of Orthodox Christianity that is also known as Eastern Orthodoxy, and this branch is one of the three major doctrinal and jurisdictional groups of Christianity, alongside with Roman Catholicism and Protestantism. The term Orthodox means right believing, and it has been used historically to refer to those who preserve the true faith, as opposed to groups labeled heretical. Doctrinal foundations. The faith and practices are based on the first of the seven ecumenical councils from the 4th to the 8th centuries, which define key Christian beliefs. Orthodox Christians believe in the Holy Trinity, the authority of the Bible and Church Fathers, and the importance of sacred tradition, emphasizing the continuity with the Apostolic Church. It considers itself as the direct continuation of the original Christian community founded by the apostles. Its liturgy is rich and symbolic, and often sung or chanted. Their icons are venerated but not worshipped. He is known for his iconography, dome churches, gold mosaics, and frescoes. Icons like Our Lady of Vladimir and Christ Pantocrator are considered windows to the divine. St. Basil's Cathedral. Its full name is Cathedral of the Intercession of the Most Holy Theotokos on the Mouth, and its short version could be St. Basil's Cathedral. Its author is Varma and Posnik Yakovlev, who were the architects, and its current location is on the Red Square in Moscow, Russia. Art movement is a Russian medieval architecture with some Byzantine influence. The artistic expression is a monumental religious architecture with vivid symbolic use of color and form. The technique used is masonry, wood, brightly painted brick, and ceramic. This cathedral was built during the reign of Ivan the Terrible to commemorate the conquest of Kazan. It reflects the power and the spiritual mission of the Tsar and the Orthodox Church, combining Byzantine and the Russian styles. Four of the eight side altars of the church were named in honor of the religious feast that coincided with the main events of the campaign against Kazan. There is a version that claims that the temple symbolizes the New Jerusalem, whose walls are decorated with precious stones. At the base of what was intended to be a single temple, nine small churches were originally built, interconnected by galleries and passageways. In the 16th century, this place was used to store the Tsar's treasure and the savings of the city's wealthiest inhabitants. Interpretation of the meaning. First off, we have a lot of vibrant colors and whimsical design that evoke wonder, joy, and curiosity. And we also have dim lighting and narrow passageways that create a sense of mystery and sacredness. Iconography. We have onion shaped domes that symbolize flames rising to the heavens or spiritual ascension, nine individual chapels, and each one of them honors a religious feast day or saint, symbolizing the connection between faith and victory. We also have crosses atop each dome that affirm the Christian foundation of the structure. And finally, we have bright patterns and unique towers that reflect diversity and cultural richness of the Orthodoxy and Russian heritage. Our Lady of Vladimir. Its full name is Icon of the Mother of God of Vladimir. The author is unknown, and the current location is in Tretiakov Gallery, also in Moscow, Russia. Art movement is a Byzantine iconography. The artistic expression is a portrayal of the Virgin and Child in a Eleusa type, and the technique is tempera on wood. It was brought from Constantinople, and this icon became a spiritual protector of Russia, especially in times of invasion. It reflects deep religious devotion and cultural connection between Byzantium and Russia. And this piece is also known as the Virgin of Vladimir, and she is depicted cheek to cheek with the divine child whose arms are caressing her. This masterpiece emphasizes intimacy and tenderness between mother and child, evoking love, protection, and divine compassion, as well as the soft colors and the gentle expressions that invite empathy and spiritual comfort. Iconography. So, first off, we have Mary and child Jesus, who are the central figures showing divine motherhood and human affection. Then we have a golden background that symbolizes heavenly light and divine presence. We also have that Mary has her head tilted and embracing the child, showing emotional closeness as well as a spiritual connection. And finally, we have the stars on her robe that represent her virginity before, during, and after Christ's birth. Christ Pantocrator. His author is unknown, but it could possibly be an early Byzantine artist, dates from the 6th century, and its current location is in a monastery of St. Catherine on Mount Sinai in Egypt. The art movement is part of Byzantine art. The artistic expression is a frontal portrait. The technique used is encaustic painting on panel. The Christ Pantocrator depicts the Lord seated on a throne of glory, holding the Holy Scriptures in his left hand and offering a gesture of blessing with his right hand. The term Pantocrator comes from the Greek pan, that means all, and kratos, that means power, so this could mean ruler of all. This is one of the most iconic and revered images in Byzantine art, symbolizing Christ as the sovereign Lord of the universe. He is often found in domes or apses of Orthodox churches, and it emphasizes both his divine authority as well as his human compassion. It is also considered as one of the oldest surviving depictions of Jesus in this kind of style, and reflecting the early Christian focus on his dual nature, that he was fully divine yet fully human. This masterpiece, uh, it has a striking balance between authority and mercy, creating feelings of awe, reverence, also spiritual humility, and the calm yet intense gaze engage with the viewer, evoking some personal reflection. Iconography. So, first off, we have that is seated on a throne or against a golden background that represents a divine authority and kingship. Then we have the Book of Gospels in his left hand, and this symbolizes Christ as the Word of God and as a divine teacher. We also have a blessing gesture with his right hand that express divine grace and presence. And finally, we have facial symmetry that is often interpreted as showing Christ's dual nature, as I said, that is both human and divine. Personal position. So these three masterpieces deeply move me as each one of them reflects the spiritual and cultural identity of the people and the places that created them. I found them all meaningful and thought provoking, each one of them offering a unique perspective on how faith can be expressed through art. So, first off, we have the St. Basil's Cathedral that shows how architecture can be both spiritual and also imaginative. Its colorful design and unique structure made me see how buildings can become powerful symbols of belief and creativity. Then we saw Our Lady of Vladimir, and that felt especially emotional because it reminded me how art can express deep feelings like love, protection, and compassion, and connect us to others even across time. And finally, the masterpiece of Christ Pantocrator that represents both strength and kindness. And I think it's a powerful example of how religious art can communicate deep theological ideas through a single expression or a single gesture. So, altogether, these works invite us to reflect more deeply on history, culture, and belief, not as something distant or some distant concepts, but as something meaningful and as lived experiences from the past. In the end, these masterpieces go beyond religion, and I think they help us connect with universal human emotions and values, showing how art continues to move us, teach us, and inspire us across time. Personally, I believe that studying these works help us not only to appreciate their beauty, but also to understand the deeper messages they carry about faith, humanity, and the way art can speak to the soul across generations and across cultures. These are the references, and that will be all. Thank you so much for your attention.